Hey guys, Kevin, it's going to be another classic movie review for you guys, and it's movie I'm going to be reviewing. This is a movie that I've pretty much wanted to see my whole life. I finally saw it. I don't know what took me so long to finally watch this movie, but I finally watched it, and I'm so happy that I finally watched this movie, and that is the 1976 drama classic Rocky. Yes, finally I have seen Rocky. I probably wanted to see Rocky ever since I heard of it, honestly. I've wanted to see this movie. I've heard this is like the ultimate like determination, and it's one of Sylvester Stallone's best performances and things like that. I've just always been very interested in this movie for various reasons, definitely. When the Broadway musical came out, I really wanted to see it, and finally I saw it. I don't know what took me so long, but I finally saw it, and thank God I finally watched it because Rocky actually is, Rocky is, like, no surprise here, Rocky is definitely a masterpiece. It's an amazing movie. I absolutely love Rocky. I think that it is just a fantastic movie, and there's so many things I love about this movie that I really didn't know getting into it, and I really do love it. So, let's get into the plot of Rocky, which I think is a great plot. Basically, we focus on this guy, Rocky Balboa. He has been living a very hard life. He's failing at being this professional boxer. He works as this enforcer for this like loan shark, and pretty much everyone just is beating on this guy. Everyone's shitting on him, and he doesn't really think that he has much of a life. He's not really confident. And then we have this character, Apollo Creed. He is this world heavyweight champion, and he announces that he wants to plan to hold a match in Philadelphia during the upcoming 1976, U.S. Bicentennial. However, he's informed 5 weeks from the fight date that his, scheduled opponent is unable to compete due to this injured hand. So Rocky basically decides to, he basically settles on Rocky to step up because he thinks this is going to be an easy challenge. And so basically Rocky prepares for this fight with Apollo Creed, while at the same time he develops a relationship with this girl Adrian, and also gets training from his trainer Mickey, and that basically is a plot of Rocky, and I think that's a great plot. And one of the things I want to say about this movie though is that I'm not one for sports movies. I'm not into sports movies. I probably never will be. It's not my thing, really. I don't find sports interesting. Even if I go to a game, I don't really find it interesting. I find it interesting if like it's a game for like my high school or something. Like maybe once in a while I'll go, but I've never really been into sports and things like that. That's just not me. So this is a movie, though, where you don't have to like boxing and love this movie, because this movie is a lot more than just a sports movie. In fact, it's not really a sports movie. There was about 12 minutes of boxing in the whole movie, and I'll talk about the fighting sequences, but first let's get to the acting in this movie, because if the acting would not have been as good as this movie, the movie would not have been as good. Sylvester Stallone as Rocky gives one of the best performances of his career by far. I don't know if it is his best. I don't know what his best would be, but it definitely is the best that I've seen from him. He is amazing as this character, Rocky Balboa. Something I love at Rocky Balboa is that he's not this hero guy, he's not this big, confident hero. He's actually a very, he actually puts himself down a lot. He's very self-deprecating. He doesn't really think he's a lot. In fact, when he enlists to fight, he doesn't plan on winning. He just wants to show that he can do something, and he's such a determined guy. You root for him. I mean, you see for the first, 20 minutes of this movie, everyone just beating on this guy and shitting on him, and nobody really likes him and takes him seriously, and finally he gets this opportunity, and you're really happy for him, and I think Sylvester Stallone perfectly portrayed that. Definitely amazing character. I love the character Rocky Balboa, and he did an amazing job. Really, he did. Seeing him go from this, zero, lonely guy to this big hero is amazing to watch. I think he did an amazing job with that. Talia Shire as Adrian, I love her character. Something I didn't expect is that I just love all the characters in this movie, really. The relationship between Rocky and Adrian is one of the best parts of this movie. Actually, a lot of this movie focuses on them just getting to know each other. She's very shy, and Rocky's, really, he becomes a lot more confident around her, and I really loved their little relationship. One of the best scenes by far, when they go to this ice skating rink for, their first date. It's this really cute scene. You see how much Rocky loves her. I really enjoy it, and I think the chemistry between them is by far one of the best parts of the movie. They have amazing chemistry, and I think they work very well together, definitely. I loved their chemistry. Burt Young is Paulie. Yes, this character's a dick. Yes, you hate him. You want nothing to do with him. He is Adrian's brother, who basically gets Rocky to work in his, basically he helps Rocky to train his freezer. I did like what he did for Rocky, let him pound some meat and things like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But you do hate this guy, he's this drunk, he's really rude, he's this really bad guy. He's basically like the dick of the franchise, and you want him dead and everything. But I thought he did a good job playing that character. Definitely he was really good, and I really enjoy his character. Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed. I mean, he's Carl Weathers. He's obviously great. This is an iconic character, and he is a fantastic character. I think he did a great job, and you can see that Apollo Creed, thinks he's this confident guy, and I really loved about his character. He's actually not in the movie a lot, which I thought was kind of surprising, that Apollo Creed's not in the movie a lot. But for what he's in, he definitely does a very good job. And of course, you have to talk about Burgess Meredith as Mickey. I mean, what can you say about Rocky's mentor? I mean, the bond between them by far is one of the best parts of the movie. The way he just turns Rocky from this unconfident guy to this really confident hero is amazing to watch. His transformation, the way he never gives up on Rocky, and also his story, finding more about his story, how he was this fighter from the 1920s and owned this local boxing gym. I mean, he's just such a fascinating character, and I love that about his character. I think they did a great job, and the chemistry between him and Sylvester Stallone is also fantastic. I think everyone really did a fantastic job in this movie. The directing by John G. Avildsen, I think he did a fantastic job directing this movie as well. This movie did win Best Director, which it definitely deserved. It also won Best Picture, which is really surprising, but it definitely deserved it. The directing here, though, I can definitely see why he won, the directing, why he won, because he did a great job directing this movie. Because what he did with this movie is that this movie, I don't think is just any sports movie. This movie is all about confidence and motivation and how one person can just motivate someone so well, and I think he really did a great job directing that. Fantastic directing from him. Really, it was great directing. Really, it was. The screenplay by Sylvester Stallone is great. I think it's great that Sylvester Stallone writes his own movies, and he did a great job writing this movie. I mean, what he would have Rocky say, you can tell he really understood the characters, and that's something I thought was really good, is that he really understood this character of Rocky. He really understood all the characters. The dialogue's very realistic. It's really funny at times as well. I mean, Rocky has some really funny one-liners. I think that was really great. There's some really dramatic stuff in the movie as well. The movie also has a lot of heart to it, definitely. I think the writing by Sylvester Stallone is by far one of the best parts of the movie. The screenplay really drives the film, and without the amazing screenplay, the movie wouldn't have been as good. Obviously, it wouldn't have been. Cinematography is amazing to this movie. For 1976, it's amazing. The editing is great as well, and the fight sequences. Obviously, I have to talk about the fight. Now, I will say with the editing, something you need to know going into this movie is extremely slow paced. It kind of threw me off in the beginning. I was like, I don't know about this movie. It kind of threw me off. I didn't expect the movie to be as slow paced as it was. It's actually a very slow paced movie, but if you can get over that, get over the length, it is a bit lengthy. But for me, I didn't see it as lengthy. I didn't find a single scene boring. I think every scene was interesting. And after I got over the length, I'm like, you know what, this is a great movie. I think it's an amazing movie. And the editing, just so you guys know, it is a very slow-paced movie. But honestly, it had to be slow-paced because the story they were trying to tell. You had to see Rocky go through this development of kind of being a loser to being this hero. And it was amazing to see. And I love that they did that. And they did an amazing job with that in the movie. Also, the score to this movie is one of the best scores ever, honestly. It's as epic as you can get. The training montage might well be my my favorite montage ever in a movie. Like, it's so awesome to watch. It comes at the perfect time in the movie as well. I mean, it's right before he's about to train. It's right before he's about to go into that big boxing match. You see him, he's training, and you see his motivation, things like that. And what they do with that in the movie, it was so well done. I couldn't wait for that movie. I mean, that's the moment we all wait for, is that training montage. When we go to see Rocky, when you watch Rocky, that's what you wait for, is a training montage. And when it finally comes up, you see it, it's epic, it's just, what can be said about the training montage? It's one of the greatest sequences I think ever created in film. Really, it is. And I don't think any boxing film, or any sports film for that matter, or any film with a montage has ever topped it, because it just wasn't as big as Rocky. And you really get the feeling of and you really care because you care about Rocky so much that you really love seeing this guy finally toughen up and train and get stronger, and the getting stronger. I can see how someone thinks that's cheesy. To me, I thought that was perfect because you do see in the training that he gets stronger and stronger as it goes on. And of course, the training montage ends with the iconic scene of him putting his hands up in victory. He knows that he's now ready to fight Apollo Creed, and I just love that about the movie. I thought they did a great job with that. And also the messages that the movie has about conquering fear and motivation, I think is great. It really shows that you can do anything you set your mind to, and you should never set yourself up for mediocrity. Because again, Rocky doesn't think he's gonna win, but as the movie goes on, he becomes more and more confident, and I absolutely love that. And I love that message that the movie had. And honestly, it's an even more important message today. I mean, some people, they just give up and they don't realize real potential they have in the world. And I think this is a movie that honestly anyone needs to see because of the fact that it shows that real potential that someone can have and how important, someone is in the world. Everyone has some sort of purpose in the world, and Rocky eventually does find it, but it's not for a while. I think they really portrayed that perfectly in the movie. And of course, the fight scenes, there aren't too many of them. There are really only two, but they're as thrilling as they were in 1976. Obviously, they are thrilling. When Rocky is fighting Apollo, your teeth are just clenching. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, come on, Rocky, beat him. You feel so happy for when that boxing match is going on. Of course, we all know that Rocky does end because there were sequels. Personally, I never felt like this movie needed a franchise. I really didn't. So I'm not going to look at the sequels because I honestly don't think I need to. I think one was enough, and I heard that it does, Rocky 4 is considered the best one. But I watched this one because I want to see the one that started it all and why this series, without this movie, there would be no Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, or Rocky Balboa, which Rocky 5 I heard is not very good, but without it, without this movie, there really would have been none of those movies if this movie not been successful as it was. And why do I think this movie is still relevant today? Simply because of the message. It just don't give up. And this movie, of course, did inspire the Broadway show, which now I can understand why the soundtrack isn't as good. This movie doesn't really work as a musical. It's not really a movie I see as, oh, I think they could do a good musical version of it. It's really not that kind of movie, and I think as a musical, it really didn't work, and you do see that. And I really love a lot of stuff about this movie. And the thing about this movie, though, is that something I do love is that it's really not, it's really a movie that anyone can enjoy. It's a movie that anyone needs to see in their life. It's a movie that I think anyone can relate to. Even though it deals with boxing, the real message is just conquering your fear and that you can do anything you set your mind to. And that's a very important message today. It's something I think anyone needs to see, and that's one of the reasons why Rocky is a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece that everyone needs to see. It's an amazing movie, and just please check out Rocky if you haven't. I can't believe I've never seen it. I know it's a crime. I finally watched it. Thank God I have, and I can't wait to watch more Sylvester Stallone movies, really. This movie made me want to watch more Sylvester Stallone movies, and I think it's awesome that Rocky is as good as it is, and it still is amazing today. So that's basically my review for Rocky. Obviously, it gets an A+, 5 out of 5, A+. That's it for my review of Rocky. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie. You have seen it. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for another classic movie review. And by the way, guys, my next classic movie review, I'm bringing back a series that I know you all love. Well, I think you love at least. It's Saturday, and you know what I did on Saturdays last year, so that is coming back. And you guys will get to see that. And if you guys don't know what I mean, you'll see what I mean in my next video, and I will see you guys in that video. Okay, bye.